I'm Mark of Mindmelt Studio. This is the Mindmelt Podcast. Today I have Kevin, my trusty engineer, sound guy. He'll be chiming in and joining us in the discussion.
Before we get lost in podcastness, I have two things I need to correct from previous episodes.
Okay.
Number one, I said that in the first episode, I said that Mars doesn't have an atmosphere. I was wrong. Mars does have an atmosphere.
You remember that? That stuck in my head. That
It did.
You're like, that bastard. I can't believe I'm going to be doing.
I actually had to
her
double
nerd
check.
cred is
Yeah.
established.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It does have an atmosphere, just not an atmosphere that would allow a storm like in The Martian to happen. Like if there was like 100-kilometer-an-hour wind on Mars, it would feel like a little breeze because there's not enough.
Right. And that's
stuff
also
in the air.
Like, I feel like windstorms on Mars has always been like a pop culture thing. Like, not even just The Martian.
Like windstorms on planets. Like like how many episodes of Star Trek did you watch where there's windstorm and they can't
and then it turns into their cave episode.
Right, yeah, because they can't get the transporters.
My wife and I were just talking about that because we've been working through a whole bunch of different Star Trek series and how the floors of the caves are just the smoothest floors you've ever seen.
Because it's the bottom of the set.
It's the bottom of a set, it's just like subflooring. Whereas in real life, if you go to a cave, it's like you're just like jumping, like, twisting your ankle and stuff.
The second thing I need to just apologize for the audio in the last episode that hasn't been posted yet, but
yeah,
when you get there, you'll know that the audio wasn't that great. I didn't have my headphones. And
we're learning as we go.
I was relying on my meters, which just tells you that there's audio there. It doesn't tell you how good it is. So
right.
There you go. That's all I needed to say.
Awesome. So an addendum. Is that what it's called? An addendum?
I don't know. Now you're using big words.
I'm using
smaller words.
I'm using $10 words.
It was a correction.
That's a correction.
Yeah.
Awesome. So anyways, my guest today is Nicole. You work in the mental health
Indeed, I do.
industry, whatever.
Mental health, human services, however you want to coin it. Yeah.
Can we say that I guess you were a counselor of mine for a while?
I was, yeah.
We've known each other. Yeah, I think we met each other shortly after COVID or kind of during. I remember when we were first.
It was right at
we were wearing masks
the tail end,
plexiglass and stuff. It was
100%.
Kind of odd.
Yeah.
So we have a bit of a history. You know a lot about my mental health struggles, probably more than anybody else other than my wife.
Fair. No, we go back a few years now.
Yeah, so you know how broken I am as a person.
Oh my God, hardly. As broken as any of us are.
I remember you used to say that. I remember you used to say, "Don't say that. You're not broken."
No.
So,
and there's nothing wrong with being broken. It's how we fix ourselves.
True. So
recognizing it's broken, right? Isn't that part of it?
Yeah, that's when you can add the glue and MacGyver together with bubble gum and duct tape.
Yeah.
No, see, I look at like that Japanese art form of when they used to use gold to bring ceramics back together.
Right.
I want to say it's wabi-sabi. I know that's not the right thing.
Wasabi?
Wabi-sabi is a Bobby Hill quote that comes into my head. But
that's so bad, Bobby.
But yeah, just, even broken things can be beautiful.
Yeah,
it's just how we
seen that.
approach that.
It's kind of beautifying the cracks. I mean, you can't hide the cracks that are there, so you might as well put some
I think they
gold
just strengthen us, really.
That's why she's the professional.
Yeah.
That's a big word.
You were a great counselor. Like, you definitely,
thank you.
You made me have some...
I just dropped my phone,
there's
sorry.
Noise.
Yeah, sorry.
Another
we were worried about the coffee pot. You should have been worried about me.
Yeah. What was I going to say? About the counseling and everything. Like, I mean, we touched on so many different things. And I mean, this episode's not going to be just doom and gloom talking about mental health, but it's definitely going to be a big part of it.
For sure.
I have sort of a list of things that I put together of when I have guests over. And
and I think for us, that's a good thing because we have a history of tangents. So
yeah, but tangents are good in podcasts because then we can go off.
That's fair. Whatever. That's fair.
Yeah. So we kind of touched a little bit on burnout as we're doing the sort of pre-jibber jabber. How do you cope with burnout, especially working in mental health? Because you're taking in other people's problems and strife and stuff.
For sure. Well, like, just put it out there. I've been in the field for about 15 years now, starting in crisis response. So really dealing with high-end, very volatile situations, working alongside law enforcement to go in and extract people from really, violent, desperate situations. And then I transitioned to mental health, thinking that it would be a little easier on my own well-being. And I did that for a few years, but for me, I got to a point where I was meeting with people and recognizing the things I'm quote unquote counseling on. I'm not doing those things in my own life. And that became really hard for me because I felt almost like an imposter. I can tell you what you need to do to improve, but I'm not living that life, right? So
I think a lot of us are guilty of that, because I'm one of those people that I can give people counsel on things, but I don't practice it myself, I'll be like, oh, easy on yourself and self-care and whatever. And meanwhile, I'm treating myself like absolute shit.
And I really hit that wall where I'd go home and think of, the individuals I was supporting during the day, and I wasn't able to do those things for myself.
Yeah.
So I jumped around a little bit, trying different positions, thinking with the same agency that I'd be better here or there. And it just really compiled. So I hit a wall probably August of last year where I was not myself. I was very unwell. My family was noticing I was unwell, and I just wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah.
And I had to realize I was doing a disservice to those that I was trying to support, because if I can't show up authentically, then I shouldn't show up at all. That's kind of my mentality, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and a people pleaser. So if I can't do it 100%, I'm out. Yeah. So I did take a step back, and it was really hard because I really realized, even through my own counseling, how tied my own identity was to the work I did.
Right.
Because for a lot of people in my life, which I've had to really deal with that, I realized that my job was more interesting than myself to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because they always want to hear the nitty gritty. Not so much when I was working in mental health, but a lot of the crisis response I did.
Right.
People reading things in the news and hearing things. Oh, did you know about this? It really took a toll on me. So come August, I had to take a step back. It was really hard. I was really ashamed of it. I had a lot of feelings around it. I was in a really dark spot.
Yeah.
So I took a couple months, and then I found my new position doing something that is very similar, supporting those who are like me, first responders, who have hit that wall and engaged in really unhealthy coping mechanisms, and just providing that peer support, I suppose. And for me, that's really healing. Right. I still have burnout. I have some individuals I support that really challenge me, but I'm allowing myself to take that step back and ask for help when I need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that you've sort of established boundaries too?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I know that's something we talked about a lot too, in our counseling sessions, that me establishing boundaries and stuff, which I have done over the last few years, which has helped somewhat with certain relationships and stuff. Yeah.
And boundaries, that's a hard one, right? Especially when we look at who we're establishing boundaries with, whether it's family, friends. For me, it was definitely establishing boundaries with those I support.
Right.
Because it's hard, right? When we're meeting with people when they're at really low points, and we can relate to that. And I am, as much as I try not to be, very empathetic, and I attach myself to people because I relate and I feel for people. So developing those relationships and realizing other people's success is not my responsibility. And that's been really hard, where now my new position, being that I work from home now, I don't see my individuals face to face very often. It's very rare. I have that ability to kind of disconnect. So I'm not worried about seeing people in public or driving by a house and going, oh, I've been there and this is what happened at that house. Because I have a lot of that, especially living in Sudbury. So for me, it's arm's length. I'm here to do my job, to provide you supports, to give you guidance where I can. What you do with that is your choice, and that's it.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was an element too of maybe before of like, I need to fix this person or something, you know.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you're to a certain extent, you want to help them, but you can't fix them. Like, they have to do some work on their end too.
I think anyone who works in the field, as I do, like human services, social work, whatever you want to call it, mental health, we do have to learn that lesson because it's hard. Mm-hmm. It's not our responsibility to quote unquote fix somebody. Provide the tools, give guidance. What they do with that has nothing to do with me at the end of the day. Right. I can only do so much, right? So taking the responsibility out of that was really important for me.
Right. So is this the line of work that you always envisioned yourself being in? Like, you know, when you were younger? Or was...
Hell no.
No?
Did you want to be a firefighter?
No, I actually, I have my teaching degree, right? I taught for 6 years, almost 6 years.
Right.
K through primary. I love teaching kids.
Right.
I couldn't get on full time. I have my degrees in sociology, gender studies. Something came up for my first job in crisis response where it was just, hey, apply for this. Tossed my hat into the ring, and next thing I knew, I was the director of an organization.
Right.
With no experience in the field.
Right.
So I really hit the ground running and had to learn from the get. And when I started with the agency I started with, we had about 300 referrals the first year I worked there. And by the time I left 9 years later, we were looking at 3,000 a year.
Wow.
So just really building networks. And
were you working at all with children in that position?
Very much so. Very much so.
Did you find there was a good sort of lead in or
I found like my teaching background really allowed me to get on the child level, I guess, especially when speaking about hard things, knowing how to approach children, how to have those discussions in a very safe, fostering way without pulling out things they didn't want to talk about.
Yeah, right? I can imagine tackling, working on mental health with a child is a lot different from an adult. Like, there's a different sort of pathway to communication there. Very
different approach, especially when I started, I was working with children primarily coming from situations with intimate partner violence.
Right.
So how do we navigate that and ensure that that little one is being supported in the best way possible, right? So,
right. Yeah.
And with adolescents, because as my job progressed in that field, I worked very closely in human trafficking. So I got to I was forced to become very comfortable with working with adolescents in very difficult situations, right? So being able to just be a person of support without being an authority figure, not coming in as a parent, just a safe space. And that's always, even with adults now, that's how I kind of move forward, is just, I'm a safe person for you to talk to regardless of the situation.
Yeah, because you're coming into the situation with people that are often very traumatized and very vulnerable, so I'm sure it's not walking on eggshells, but you have to sort of tread carefully, and especially because their reaction to somebody helping them might be to pull back.
100%. And especially when you don't know that individual and their history, right? They might be coming to me for one situation, but I don't know the minefield I'm stepping into, because we might be talking about this situation, but I might say something that brings up past trauma that we weren't necessarily ready to engage in, right? Because in that work I used to do is crisis. It was immediate. Let's deal with the here, the now. What are you dealing with in this moment? How do we make you safe? What services, what supports do you need to get you to the next step? And we were always told, we don't go back. I'm not a licensed psychotherapist, so delving into trauma can be extremely tricky.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to open up trauma for somebody and then just send them on their way after a hour and a half meeting to say, okay, well, 2 weeks from now, we'll get back to this. Deal with that.
Well, and I find, especially for myself, for my own trauma and mental health history, like, we tend to compartmentalize things, so you never know, like, you pull on a thread and, like, you start pulling out this other stuff.
It's an unboxing.
Like what happened with you and I and the counseling, like, we kind of had a couple of breakthroughs and things where it's just like, I never realized that about myself and whatever, so it's definitely a tricky thing to navigate.
And I think, like, when you and I started seeing each other, that wasn't the intention. We were kind of dealing with the here, the now, the surface level. But I'm a firm believer, even though everywhere I've ever worked is we don't deal in trauma. We don't go backwards. We need to get to the root cause.
Well, and that's what I had not happened with my counseling and therapy over the years, is that we weren't getting to the root cause of things. Like, we weren't really digging around into the brain and saying, like, the why, like, there has to be a catalyst or whatever to all this stuff. And so unraveling that was definitely important. But then there's also the danger of when you pull those threads and you pull that trauma out, that you don't do anything with it. Like, I kind of use this analogy with my wife, where it's like you are emptying out a junk drawer in your kitchen, and you're just dumping it on the table, and then you're just leaving it there, and then it's always there to remind you. So all that junk that's in your brain is there, but you're not dealing with it. You're not like, oh well, that needs to go here, and those batteries can go there. So I think I've definitely been in that sort of situation now for the last while, where the junk drawer was on the table and I don't know how
that's really hard.
Put the stuff away and deal with
100%. Because it's overwhelming when you're staring at it, right? Like,
and you're raw. It's like this raw nerve that's just there.
Put it literally. If we're dealing with hoarding, or I know myself with ADHD, I have doom piles.
Yeah.
Those stress me out.
Yeah.
I know it's there. Do I want to address it? No.
Yeah.
It's just, and for me, that was really important to learn, is if we're going to dump the drawer, the person I try to be is not the person to dump it and walk away from somebody.
Right.
Because it's not fair. Like, I want to be that person to help you sort through it to the best of my ability.
And I mean, the reality, like, of our situation is that you had gotten a position somewhere else. So it just so happened that we emptied out the junk drawer and weren't able to tackle it. Yeah. Which I'm sure is tough. Like, that must be something that's tough for you in this field of work, when things shift professionally or whatever, logistically.
Especially when they shift without
closure,
or like necessarily, I don't want to say consent because that's extreme, but things when we met where I was working shifted without my input.
Yeah,
it was just
wasn't your
being
fault.
Told, like, hey, you're being redeployed to this now. And I'm thinking, hey, I have a roster of X amount of people that some will be okay with it, but I like to think, a certain amount of my individuals I develop really good relationships with, and I wasn't comfortable just shifting them to somebody else because I knew not necessarily the care wouldn't be the same, but the approach would be different. And I always tried to take a lot of time to get to know my individuals, to know the approach,
Like, I still remember vividly that last session we had. It was a very emotional session for both of us, because you had to leave, and I was just like,
I cried with so many of my clients, and I know that's such a bad, quote unquote, bad thing. Like, it's frowned upon to have emotions, but like, you get to know people and you care about them.
Yeah.
And I can't separate, like, I try to, professional from private, but you get to know people and you care about them. And
there's a level of empathy that I at least connect to, like, having been through different therapists and stuff. Like, there's always been a detachment, and I mean, there's a professional detachment that you have to keep as well to a certain extent. But I think that was what the great thing was about our connection and camaraderie, is that we were both emotionally open to each other and stuff, and
and I think that fosters better communication and in the long run, positive outcomes. Because if you're only seeing somebody and you feel like they're that wall, they're the neutral space you can go and trauma dump and just let go. But if there's no connection there, you're not going to gain the same thing. Yeah.
And I know when our sessions ended, like, I could have been passed on to somebody else, but I remember, like, at the time I was just like, I'm not ready to be passed on to somebody else just because of what we were able to accomplish in our sessions.
Yeah. And that means a lot to me too, because it
yeah. And I just felt like, especially at that point, it felt like really starting over with another person. Because as it was, like, you were a replacement for somebody I was with initially.
Previously, yeah.
And then we were,
we'd been together for quite a while too before that change happened.
So it's such a tricky thing to find the right counselor and therapist. It's like medication. Like
100%.
You're just
trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error.
Because I know, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but the person you were paired with previously, it wasn't the same. No. They had a very different approach than I do. I like to think I'm kind of relaxed when I come into things. I deal with mental health in sometimes a humorous way because I deal with my own, and I'm the type of person, like, if we can't laugh about things, like, we're in trouble. Yeah. Sometimes dark humor comes into play, but
defense mechanism.
I know previously, like, you had clinicians that were very, like, to the book. We're here to talk about this. We don't deviate. Yeah. For me, that doesn't foster good communication.
Well, yeah, because most of the people, it's like you work from worksheets and stuff like that. And I'm not that type of person that wants to do paper homework all the time. No. Especially when it comes to mental health. I'm more of a, like, I have to talk it out and just sort of spew it out. Yeah. And that was what was great about sessions with you, is that you were able to sort of switch things up and work more towards what the client is going to be good at, you know?
I don't know. I think that's always been one of my strong suits, is like meeting people where they're at and just learning what's going to tick with them. And if that means I have to adapt my approach, I adapt. Right. Not everyone's cup of tea. I've definitely had people I've attempted to support and they're like, no, this is not my person.
Everybody's different.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Like, some people are very rigid in their learning and coping with things. So I get it, but it's definitely not for me.
No. I think for me, like, communication is a big thing, and just being able to talk openly and be an authentic person. Because I might have the clinical knowledge and be able to offer supports, but people connect much better when they recognize, like, hey, you've struggled in your own nonsense, your own shit. You don't want it to be
like a detached lecture.
No, I'm not coming from above. It's someone who's like, hey, I'm in the trenches. I've been through this. I'm going through this. Because mental health isn't something that just disappears, right? Like, I live in it every day in my own way. Right. So, yeah.
How has it, or do you find it has changed over your career, the mental health field?
There's a lot more focus on it now, which I think is really amazing. I know in my inception, we'll say, when I started 15 years ago, bringing mental health to the forefront was really difficult. The agency I work for, we had X amount of funding that we could provide to individuals who had experienced violent crime in terms of therapy. And that was usually capped around 10 sessions. Right. As someone who was new in the field, not knowing, I'm like, 10 sessions seems okay. Like, that's a good space to talk to people. The more I was in it, especially dealing with my own things, that's not enough time. And it's really frustrating when you're going back to the ministries and the people who govern the funding and try to explain. Like, I was in situations where I had to basically describe how serious, quote unquote, a trauma was to somebody and go into detail in order to get funding. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think that was fair. So that was really frustrating for me. Slowly, we're seeing that opening, especially now where I work. It is open-ended. Right. You need support, we will fund it. One of the programs I support, right now we're capped at 10 years, but 10 years is huge.
10 years is great.
Unlimited. Like, if the person wants to go twice a week, we will fund it. Like, whatever they need. It's a very specific program, but just that mentality that these things just don't go away. Right?
No, I mean, like, I recognize that my struggles with depression, anxiety, it's basically been my entire life. But especially around the age of 4 or 5, I started really sort of feeling the effects of that.
Well, exactly. And like, if we're dealing with someone who's been dealing with it from childhood, how do we give them 10 sessions and say, here's my magic wand, you're good, you're cured? Yeah. That's bullshit.
And 10 sessions, like, half those sessions, you're just
you're trying to establish
a rapport, you know? So and then it's like the final 5, it's like, we got to start running. We got to sprint to the finish.
And that's the thing. I think we're seeing a shift now, hopefully. I know the agency I work for now, they recognize that, where other agencies, I would get reprimanded or be told, like, hey, this person's been on your caseload for 1.5 years, 2 years. You need to get rid of them. Yeah. Basically close it off, ship them elsewhere. You've done what you could. And like, but you're not in the sessions. You don't understand how much progress this person's made. And even, like, I think of you, like, from the get to where we ended, I saw such growth in you, and like our conversations were so good and like so involved. I'm like, how do we shift that person elsewhere? Like, it's not fair.
And also recognizing that there's ebbs and flows. Like, it's not like with mental health, it's not an upward trajectory where it's like you're bad and then you're good.
There's no timeline.
You're cured. Whereas like there was days where I went in there and I was like, I just don't want to live anymore. And then there was other days where it's like, I feel okay, and
we have highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
And those, I hate using the word trigger. It's not a word I like, but let's be honest, things happen and we have setbacks. Mental health is not linear.
Right.
Our journeys aren't linear. It's ups and downs and setbacks. And we have to, as people working in mental health, acknowledge that. And it's really hard when you're frontline, I guess, which I would consider myself to be, and you don't have the capacity to argue that because you're being told from above that this is your cutoff. And you're like, cool, that makes me feel like crap.
Yeah. And I guess there's always a level of bureaucracy that you have to sort of deal with, hoop jumping and stuff. But
100%.
But I mean, I guess especially when funding's involved, it's like you have to sort of hit these benchmarks or criteria.
Well, and that's, let's be honest, everything comes down to stats, right? Statistics. What are your numbers? That's all the ministry cares about.
Right.
Where if
I want to see results.
If I present and I'm like, hey, we supported 500 clients in this niche, for me that's huge. But they're like, and what?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's always that
next.
Like
it's like the capitalist idea of mental health, really, where it's like, there has to be these benchmarks that we're hitting, and it's like, we need synergy. Like I'm thinking of like the 80s guy from Futurama, where it's like, you don't do blank, I do blank, or whatever it was. Like it's just this, it's unfortunate that it's like that because mental health is so complex.
Oh my gosh,
to work through, and everybody's so different. Everybody's chemistry is different, and
everyone comes from somewhere different, right? Our baselines start at a very different place, and when you put different traumas and life experiences, that baseline goes out of whack, and it takes a long time to pinpoint a person's baseline.
Right.
Like, what is your quote unquote normal? Like, where are you happy? Because that was always something for me. Agencies are so focused on wellness. How do we get you well? How do we get you healthy? Well, what does that look like? Healthy for me is very different than healthy for you or for you. Like, what does wellness look like to you? Mm-hmm. For me, when working with individuals, say, just for instance, with substance dependency, they may not want to be sober.
Right.
They might want to transition to just drinking on the weekend or using on the weekend, whatever it might be. That's their wellness. We have to respect that.
It's all sort of dulling and medicating the pain. Like I've had this conversation with people like about unhoused population. It's like, oh, they're just junkies and drunk and stoners or whatever. And it's like, it's whatever can get them through the day. Like
it's survival.
I look at myself, like if I were homeless, I would want to dull the existence, and people's like, oh, if you give them $10, they're going to spend it on booze. It's like, good for them.
And then?
And what? So what? Like,
Because they can't afford the mental health, the care that they actually need.
Yeah.
Because there are wait lists. There are financial barriers.
Right.
Who has $200 to spend on a therapy session that you
I
may not get anything out of?
I'm not unhoused and I don't have the money for therapy.
Well, and I was just going to say it. People who are housed, like, how do we cope with things?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
Just those unhoused are facing way more elements than we are.
Right. Yeah, and especially like now, like it just seems to be worsening all the time. In every city, like, that just came up from Toronto and stopped in like Barrie and stuff. And, there's unhoused homeless people in every, city center and stuff. It's everywhere.
But even like myself today, because I live out on the outskirts, haven't been downtown in the core in a minute.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere I honestly don't come to Sudbury often if I don't have to. So I ran down by Energy Court and I haven't been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since I left my old job, and I was flabbergasted at the amount of people, and
it's a little city.
It's a city unto itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understand that sense of community. If you have nobody else rallying around you. You're going to rally with those who are around you.
If anyone's listening who isn't from Sudbury, that's our tent tent community.
Yeah.
Which
most large enough cities have these sort of,
I would say every in Ontario, at least every single one has. Like Sarah and I went to London, Ontario, was it last year or the year before, and they were having some community thing downtown, and it was like, man, this is really beautiful. This is awesome. I don't see any homeless at all. They must be doing something right. And then we took our bikes onto the bike paths, and then we found that London is just better at hiding it than Sudbury is. And I think part of it is that they've been doing a lot of rebuilding in downtown Sudbury for the new event center. And they tore down,
displaced a lot of people.
A lot of the blight. I don't know if I'm using the right words. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't know if blight is an offensive word, and I'm banging my mic around now. Just where they were hanging out, the buildings that they were hanging out got torn down, and they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So they're just.
Well, they had places to squat or whatever, those derelict buildings, and as soon as you take away their housing, so to speak. Where else do they go?
Well, and we're also seeing, because the weather's changing.
Yeah.
Those individuals who kind of congregated on the outskirts, they had their little communities kind of further back in the bush, more offset. They're coming into town now because the warm weather is here, especially with the
I got to tell you, I've been driving through downtown Sudbury all winter. They were out there.
I know, but you're going to see,
they were soldiers.
I'm noticing, being on the outskirts, the encampments we were seeing are gone now. Yeah. And that means they're moving into town because this is where the resources are.
Well, not only that too, but for trying to stay warm, if you're on the outskirts, a little fire is not as noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as it was happening in our tent city where I think somebody passed away this winter from a fire in a tent.
Yeah.
Trying to keep warm. It's tragic.
That's the thing. I think those people on the outskirts, they're a little safer where they are, right?
Yeah.
It's quieter. There's less community involvement.
Less of that NIMBY sort of thing. If you're out in the woods, nobody's going to really care if you're out on Crown land or something.
I don't know how much you drive around, but even on the bypasses, you could see
yes.
the little turns where the bypasses, there was tents in those little circular, I don't know what you call them, little valleys.
Well, there's a trail near my house here. I live in the Dirty Dunny, the Donovan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's called the Dirty Dunny because it's one of the older areas of the city. It's kind of run down. There's, a fair amount of crime and stuff here. It's not that I live in the ghetto. The ghetto. So there's a lot of, people that are under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and there's prostitution. I get waved at almost
This is
every
just
day.
in his house, by the way.
Just in my house.
Just here.
Yeah. So I see it every day, and it just doesn't really
you get numb to it, though.
Yeah,
and
I feel
it's a sad thing. It's
unfortunate,
but that's our reality, right?
Yeah. Plus, the Donovan's right next to downtown, so there's that overlap of population.
I really do see it as a fault or ineffectiveness in our society.
100%.
A lot of people look at homelessness and they think that it is. People out in the street, but a lot of it is just people that don't have a home. They have a job, they have a car, they have a phone, they got bills, they got a bank account and all that, but they can't afford rent. There's just nowhere for them to live.
And that's the thing.
Rent has skyrocketed, especially, with COVID and stuff. There was a lot of people that became unhoused. And I was working in security at the time when I first moved back here, and COVID hit, and I was working directly with the homeless population at the warming center. And speaking to so many different people, it's I got evicted. I've been trying to crash on my sister's couch.
Right. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. A lot of these are working people that just, the housing is just not there.
See, and that was something I really learned working. I worked for a time at the off the street shelter. And, like you said, when families come to you, our families, who aren't in those situations, talk about junkies and all these things. I'm like, you'd be surprised. I was, even working in the field for as long as I have, when I went and actually got to know our individuals accessing shelter. A lot of primarily males in their 50s to 60s who have been divorced and they have childcare payment or child
support. Yeah.
Child support. There we go. Couldn't think of it. All these things where they've lost their house. They're still working. They're working in the mines. They're getting up.
It's so our
wake up time was 7 a.m. They're gone by 4 to get to where they need to be. They're working very good jobs, making half decent money, but they can't afford it because they've lost their house. They're indebted to child support, all these things.
And it snowballs so quickly, and it just, you could drown on
our elderly population. That's something that really shocked me, and I really struggled, and that was one of my breaking points, was working at the shelter, is how many elderly people we work
Veterans.
with. Females, males that just didn't have family supports. For whatever reason, they've lost everything. Maybe it was the loss of a spouse who was the income earner. The pension isn't enough to get them through. Yeah. And they're with us now. And it's just heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah. Well, I think of like my parents and your parents, like, you know, where there was one that had a really good pension and then one passes away. And then the other one, it's harder to live. It's harder to pay the bills because the pension gets taken away or cut right in half or whatever, you know, the case may be.
I think of that often. My dad was the breadwinner. My mom was a homemaker the whole time we were home. Hasn't held a job in, well, I'm 40, so 40 years. If my dad passes first, like, that's going to be problematic for her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my wife and I have already had conversations, like, you know, if my dad passes before my mom, like, what's that going to look like?
Yeah,
you know,
it's scary.
Yeah, it is. It's very scary.
And that's something I really learned working with that population, was how quickly you can lose things. And it really, like, put that into perspective.
I mean, the reality is most of us are, like, a couple months away from
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And I worry about that constantly, like, being a self-employed, you know, business owner. Like, you know, the art sales have diminished greatly over the last couple of years, and I worry constantly about how I'm gonna, you know, maintain, you know, paying the rent and blah blah blah, you know, and so there's so much at play that can cause the issues. My
partner works contract to contract.
Yeah,
it is now almost May, and he hasn't had anything since December.
Yeah, because he's in the film industry.
He's in film, and we have never gone this long.
Yeah.
And
I've noticed that, like, I'm on like casting call websites.
Yeah.
So I get regular emails about casting calls, and like they're all in Ottawa right now. I haven't gotten anything up in here. Sudbury.
Yeah, is part of it have to do with the states and them not wanting to do production?
I think partly.
Some of it.
But it's also the winter. They don't shoot a lot.
Right.
They don't shoot a lot in the winter, but there's other factors right now. I know my partner was looking at, because there's nothing going up here in the north currently. He was looking down in Toronto, and he's applied for a few things, but even it's weird things you wouldn't even think of, like with the soccer World Cup coming up.
Oh,
right. It's just
nothing's going on because hotels, like all these things are already booked. They don't have places to put production crews.
That's probably why I'm seeing so many calls for Ottawa. They must be shifting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the Toronto area is kind of messy right now.
Yeah.
And that's what he's looking at, is, do we shift to Ottawa now?
Right.
Where for the last almost 11, 12 years, he's done primarily Sudbury, North Bay, the Sioux, like very northern.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that shoots in North Bay, SkyMed, and all these.
Yeah, he's worked on SkyMed since the inception.
Yeah, and there's nothing right now.
Nothing.
Because I know, you know, just where I go for acting lessons and stuff, like usually by now things are starting to roll, and you're starting to do auditions and calls and stuff like that. There's nothing.
No, my partner, normally like January, February, we're pretty used to it being quiet. But come March and April, things start.
Yeah.
The smaller productions, whether it's a Hallmark or whatever, they start.
They film during the summer.
But now
those Hallmark Christmas movies are usually shot when it's 30 degrees in June or July.
100%.
So those actors are sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a great smelling set.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah. Candace Cameron Bure doesn't smell very good on those.
You don't think so?
No. No.
I thought Jesus would keep it dry. Okay, we'll cut that out.
No, that's staying in.
That's fine.
That's staying in. So, what do you do to sort of unwind, like from, the difficulty of your job, working with mental health and trauma and stuff?
Honestly, I've learned, especially in the last 8 months that I've been in this new role, where I work primarily with first responders who are in very similar positions to myself when I had to step away. So in that really dark place of being unwell, needing help and not knowing how to ask for it, because there's a lot of complex that gets involved. I don't want to say so much in my job, but there was, within the community, to some extent, I was pretty well respected, well known for the work I've done over the years. So it was really hard to step away and just own my shit, I guess, to say I'm not good right now.
Yeah.
So for me, I work with first responders to get them in that same headspace that it's okay, that we need a break.
Yeah.
So I like that. For me, in the job I do now, being that I work from home, I'm very specific. I have an office space. When my day is done, my day is done. I shut down my computer. I log off my phone, which is something I never did before. I kind of was trained and believed that I needed to be 24/7 for my individuals, especially when I was working in crisis, human trafficking. I had people calling me at all hours of the day and night, and I had to be on. I don't do that anymore. It's not healthy for me.
So bad.
So now it's really shutting down. I shut that door for my office. My partner and I, he was very intentional. We designed it very specifically to be a workspace.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. It's very witchy. I've got all my little talismans and all my touchstones, all the things I need to get through a day to keep me grounded. But when that door is shut, it's shut. There's nothing else that happens in that room.
Right.
And for me, that's really important. Logging off my phone and then just engaging in things I enjoy. I'm a nature person. I walk every day with my dogs. That's a big part. I take an hour, which I've never done before this job. I take a lunch hour.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is my lunch hour. I don't, because I used to get pulled into things. I'm like, oh, I'll take a lunch later. Or, I took 15 minutes to grab a coffee.
And then next thing you know, you're just, shotgunning
not
a
anymore.
sandwich and
Now
coffee.
it's like, hey, my lunch is at 2. I'm gone for an hour.
Yeah.
I walk my dogs.
Yeah, you need that. You absolutely need that.
And just little things like the job I have now, there is downtime. Like we have crisis. I deal with very intense situations, but there's downtime. And I have my little fidgets or things that I wouldn't be allowed to do at other jobs, I guess, working from home. Like I'm a very...
Like if you're in like a rigid office setting or something.
Yeah, I'm not as artistic as you are, but like I like crafting and like I do a lot of textile work, so needlepoint and that kind of thing. And I can sit and do those things in between my calls, or if I get off a hard call, I'll give myself 10 minutes to cross stitch or whatever it is, like craft in some way just to reset before I move to the next thing. And just really, for me, it's boundaries. I don't talk about work a lot outside, like where before everyone in my life wanted to know everything. Now it's very...
No, you just save it for us.
Well, yeah. Like I love to talk about my work because I believe in it, especially now working with first responders. I think it's so important. First responders and their families, like looking at the fallout, because recognizing myself as a first responder, it didn't only impact my life. It was my partner's life, my family's life, because I wasn't the same person. So really owning that and knowing that I need that separation, that's what's important to me. So getting out, doing things I love, crafting, spending time with my partner now, and just really disengaging from the job. And I think that's a really hard thing when we work in crisis because we're always elevated.
Yeah.
So learning to feel safe when things aren't in chaos, which is very hard.
It's, yeah, like when I talk about my anxiety, like I kind of liken it to the caveman that's always on edge because that saber-toothed tiger might eat you. It's like that fight or flight sort of mechanism that's constantly churning. It's like you have to find a way to turn it off, and I haven't found that yet. But
it's hard to find because I found like one of the things I've learned through my own counseling is I do tend to have an addictive personality, and one of the things I was really addicted to, which I didn't realize, was adrenaline.
Okay.
from being in crisis, that on-call person. I never knew what I was being called to, especially in my previous jobs. Like, we got called to anything a police officer could be called to, right? Or a firefighter. Like, I was on scene for fires, homicides, sexual assaults, like, and you just thrive on that, like, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And we never had a break because we were 24/7. So it was, I might spend 6 hours with a homicide call and go home for 2 and get called out to a car accident. So you're always on. So for me, it was very, very hard to learn how to be quiet and be still. And that's still something I'm working on.
Yeah, because those situations, I mean, for lack of a better word, they're exciting.
Yeah, and it's not a nice thing to say, but it's true. And that's why other people, we slow down to see the car crash.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that morbid curiosity. Yeah. I like knowing the inner workings of things. I like knowing what's going on in our city.
Yeah.
But I had to come to a point where I realized it was so unhealthy that it was taking away from me and who I was as a person, right? Like, I couldn't distinguish who Nicole is from job to home life because there was no existence. So now I'm really focused and I'm very good on my boundaries and saying, no, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, my wife, Sarah, she works from home as well. And when we were setting up her office, she was like, well, maybe we can make, have space for you in there, whatever. And or I could put some knitting stuff in there, whatever. I'm like, you know what? You're going to need that room to be just business.
Yeah.
So you can, when it's at the end of the day, you can close the door and move on.
I think it's important because we get so used to that duality and everything.
Yeah.
That's why, all the sleep studies tell you not to watch TV in bed or not to use that as your place to do work.
We get sucked into the idea of being like the rat race and being productive constantly. And if you're not being productive, you're not valuable to society. Like, I struggle with that with my art. Like,
of course.
It's my identity that I'm an artist. And if I'm not arting, then I'm not a person or whatever.
My problem is I'm productive and I'm not worth much in society. So it's like
you're worthless to me, my friend.
I struggled with that working from home because I was so used to being present and being seen, right? Now I'm like, nobody. And not that it's important to know, like, for
not
people to know what I do.
Priceless. You're priceless to me. I said
worthless.
I was like, wait a second. Sorry to cut you off, but I was like, that sat really bad.
Listen, you were right the first time.
Yeah, it was a slip.
No, but it's finding that worth, right? Like, where do we fit into things? And it's hard when you pull yourself out of something you're so prominent in. Now, it's hard to explain to people. I work from home. And they're like, that must be awful. I'm like, no. For others, I can get it. Yeah. And when I started, I was terrified that I'd be lonely or I wouldn't be engaged. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
When we had that big snowstorm a few weeks ago and Sarah did not have to go drive into campus, I was like, thank God for working
not once
from
this
home.
winter did I have to worry about the weather or getting home. Like, it's kind of nice.
Well, we lived in Southern Ontario for decades, and we were in that rat race where not only were you finished work, but now you have like an hour and a half to get home, and it wears you down.
It does.
Yeah, I don't know how. Every time I have to go down to Toronto or Southern Ontario and drive through that hustle and bustle, I don't know how people do it.
You get used to it. Like, you just get really accustomed to it. You become a Howard Stern fan, and because like that's all there is to do. Yeah. Like, now you can get podcasts and stuff like that, but back in the day, it was just that's what was on the radio.
Yeah,
and you just that just becomes part of your life. It becomes part of the routine. Like, I was the same way. Like, when I lived in Barrie, there were people that would drive in from Aurelia. I'd be like, you drive in like 20 minutes coming to work? That's insane.
Where now it's funny when people ask, I live out in the valley, and they're like, oh my God, driving into town every day? I'm like, 25 minutes.
In the grand scheme, that is nothing.
That's nothing.
That is nothing. Yeah. Like, there's people in Toronto that will drive 2 hours there and back. Like,
I couldn't.
And that's crazy to me.
It takes up your entire day. It's like 16 hours of your day is spent with that work, and you're not compensated for it.
Nope.
No,
and you're on edge driving.
There were days,
especially in the winter.
Yeah, so it wasn't just the winter. Like, especially when I lived in Barrie and I was driving down to Toronto, it would be so you'd think, winter is over. We're getting into spring now. The roads are gonna open up. Well, no, they're fixing potholes now.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in that. Okay, well, once they're done with the potholes, it's gonna open up. No, now it's the cottage traffic, or like
never ends.
I remember leaving for work one night at 11 o'clock. I needed to be at work at midnight. It's okay. It's only an hour away. No problem, right? It's Sunday night at midnight. I'll be fine. I get out there. It was all the cottage traffic.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot about cottage traffic. I didn't get it till work till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit.
It was
That's
insane.
crazy.
It was insane.
But even those little things, working from home, taking out the commute.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Yeah.
My day ends at 4. I shut my door and I'm
drivers.
home.
Yeah.
Like
especially
it's beautiful.
driving from the valley drivers. Oof.
Yeah, no. I'm quite...
Calling out the valley drivers.
Oh, 100%. No.
Okay, so we're ready to do a little something fun.
Yeah.
So I got a report that you are a huge horror movie buff, a fan.
To an extent, yes.
You are you're very up there in the community, apparently. I don't know. That's what I've heard. So I got
from who? Lies, all lies.
So I have a horror movie challenge here. So Mark, you're gonna have to keep score once again,
Okay.
and everybody can play at home. So you need a column for each of us. I know I'm making the left-handed.
Yeah, you're making the south.
Now you sound on mic. You sound good. Okay, so this is a list of horror movies, and we are going to give ourselves a point if you have seen it, an extra point if you saw it in the theater, and an extra point if you have a copy of it in physical edition, Blu-ray,
I don't
DVD,
have much physical of anything now. So.
VHS, anything. So that's good.
Not much, but
okay. Well, I'm not a horror movie guy, but I do have a big movie collection, so I do have a few of these on here. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see.
Okay.
How we all stack up. Okay, so now it says the movie It. So I'm gonna
original.
I don't know. See, that's what I was.
Are we gonna do it? I guess go with the Tim Curry.
So the original?
Well, I saw the original when I was 5 years old. So.
Okay, well, none of us saw it in the theater because it was a TV
miniseries.
Made for TV. But I give myself 2 points because not only have I watched it, I do have a copy of it on DVD.
I've definitely seen it.
I've seen it. I don't own it. I never actually really liked it.
I get 2 points there.
I'm
watching you this time.
It was the first horror movie I ever saw.
There's discrepancies. What's that?
Sorry?
That was the first horror movie I ever watched. I was about 5 years old. I had an uncle who was 18.
Yeah.
Who lived with my grandparents, and he introduced me to all of that when I was
I'm sure
young.
it was pretty effective at the age of 5. Like I was. Older.
Yeah, I was about 5 years old when I started.
Yeah, I got 10 years on you almost. So
yeah.
I found it cheesy. Tim Curry was fantastic, but everybody else, like John.
I remember it was great. Everybody, like, this is what back in the day where everybody would watch the same show and we'd all talk about it in the schoolyard, and everybody was like, "This is awesome," and then. The second part aired and it was like that ending.
See,
there was the stop motion that was pretty bad and See,
for me, this is a good one to start on because this is core memory. We used to live with my grandparents. Then my parents bought the house in the valley, and when they were renovating my bedroom, I stayed with my grandparents and watched it for the first time. My mom thinking it was super cute because I was 4 or 5. My whole room when I went home was decorated in clowns.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Like old school 80s too. Like there was a full fabric clown. No, made out of fabric hanging off my back door.
See, to me, the scarier clown was the poltergeist clown. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Where it wrapped its arms around the kid and everything. Like that was scarier to me.
But that's a good start.
So was that like that introduction that got you into horror, or were you
I was a little scared then.
Yeah.
Honestly, it never really traumatized me other than my room being full of clowns. That was an issue. It was Freddy that really
What was your introduction to horror?
So I'm trying to see if it's on here so we don't have to talk about it twice. And I don't see it on here.
Is the Thing on there?
Oh, that's
we'll get to it. Let me see. I don't think it is on here.
Well, because I was going to say that was probably my earliest memory of a horror movie was The Thing, which is pretty fucking intense. And I remember it used to air periodically on CBC. And I remember, I think... What's that?
Magic Shadows.
Magic Shadows.
Quiet in the comic gallery there. We're recording a podcast.
Peanut gallery. And yeah, I seem to recall watching it with my dad. My dad was always a big fan of The Thing. And I'm a huge... It's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
up there.
There's really... For me, it's The Thing or Alien that I go back and forth as my favorite horror films of all time.
For me, But yeah, The Thing was my earliest memory of watching a horror movie, and that's probably explains a lot about me because it's a pretty intense movie.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was Friday the 13th. So this is, you want to talk about being aged. I watched that movie for the very first time on vinyl. Vinyl.
I watched it on
vinyl. There was a very short-lived technology where it was like before VHS, before tape, where they would put movies on vinyl. And it would come in like a cartridge, and you'd put this cartridge into the machine, and it would take the vinyl record, and it would start spinning the movie on the vinyl
you grew
record.
Up with a lot of technology.
Really?
So this was a neighbor that had it, though. Okay. It wasn't my family, and like there were these big discs. You can see them sometimes. You find them sometimes
like the size of a
thrifts.
laser disc.
But it's in a cartridge, right? Okay. So it's in like this thin plastic cartridge thing, and like movies, like, so you'd start watching the movie and you get 20 minutes in, then you got to take it out and flip it over and watch.
That's wild.
And so like movies would be on like 3 or 4 of these things. Anyways,
I can see why that kind of faded away.
No, it wasn't great, and didn't look great, and you could scratch it, and then the needle, of course, stylus, I should say, would get dirty and whatnot.
That sounds like a rather cumbersome.
But like this is like pre VHS, right? This is pre-tape, pre-recording. Right. This was like one of the first ways to get movies into people's homes, and the movie industry liked it because you couldn't record TV, right? This was like pure profit buy things, whereas VHS, they were very worried that people were just going to record movies off the TV.
And then there was the whole Beta VHS thing, and Beta was superior, but
VHS had the porn movies, so pretty much.
It came down to a Sony JVC thing or something.
So Sony always have tried to have their own proprietary format out there because they wanted the movie industries and everything to pay them a license, which they failed at every single time until Blu-ray. Blu-ray was the format, and the only reason
DVD,
and the only reason why Blu-ray won that format war was because of the PlayStation 3. Nobody was buying HD DVD. I shouldn't say nobody.
You still find them in the thrift stores.
That's why I say like there's no atmosphere on Mars. I won't say nobody. Very few people were buying Blu-ray players or HD DVD.
There's no
players.
HD DVD players on Mars.
Probably
that
not.
You can be sure of.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Elon?
Maybe there's one on the Mars rover.
Maybe.
There should be.
Yeah.
But anyways, streaming was already taking over.
Right.
Netflix was already taking over. So, but anyways.
Tangent.
Moving on.
Friday the 13th, I watched it at a neighbor's house. I was way too young to watch it. It gave me nightmares for weeks, and I refused to watch any horror until I was like in my teens.
Yeah.
Like I had not watched, I was one of those people that saw Terminator 2 before I saw Terminator because Terminator was like too scary. Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. That Terminator was definitely more straight up horror.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a monster movie.
Very much so.
Yeah. It's like basically a Frankenstein kind of thing.
Okay. Back to the list.
All right.
Halloween.
I've seen it.
Seen it, own it.
Okay. Seen it and own it. Yeah. Okay. So she gets 2 points and we get 1 each. A Quiet Place.
Seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. We all get a point there.
Didn't care for it.
No.
Me neither. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. We're all on the same page there.
Yeah. I thought it was way overhyped.
What happens if you fart?
Well, there's
so many other.
There's so many plot holes in it. Like John Krasinski's fine, but it just got blown up into such a thing.
I don't understand why the family didn't move closer to the waterfall. That would mask all their
drown out all the noise.
I understand that they had a farm and they need to look after it, but whatever. It Follows.
It Follows. I've seen it.
I don't think I've seen that.
That's that
STD.
STD. It's an STD allegory.
It is.
Have you seen it?
I watched it.
The monster is basically like an STD.
AIDS is coming for me.
Well, because it happens when the teenagers have sex.
That's every horror movie, though.
Yeah, but specifically in this one, I know which one
you're talking. I don't
specifically in this one. The teenagers have sex, and it's like
it jumps.
It's symbolic of sexually transmitted diseases.
So Jason Voorhees is a sexually transmitted disease.
I mean, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm learning stuff.
Okay. Well,
yes.
I've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You've seen it.
I've seen it. No. I liked it. I need to rewatch it because I didn't love it, because a lot of people love it.
I hated it.
It's going to be like that with a lot of horror movies.
Again, it's one of those movies that had a lot of style, great cinematography, but the substance just wasn't there for me. Okay, one of my favorites of all time. So you got to give me 2. I saw the remake in the theater. Does that count? Probably not. The Psycho.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
I've never seen Psycho.
Oh, you are a horrible person.
I own Psycho and also have the book. So
you might get a half a point for that. I get 2 points because I have the movie.
I'm a big book person.
It's one of my major movie blind spots.
I have a poster on my wall. You can borrow it from me, man.
I know. I'll be honest.
I didn't see the need for the remake.
The remake,
because it was like shot by shot. It didn't really make any sense.
I've never seen the remake. I've just seen clips of it, and it was awful.
There's no need for it.
No,
like
the only difference is that Vince Vaughn
in a horror. Like I love Vince Vaughn. I do have like since Swingers, all that, but not in that context.
And when was it Gus Van Sant
that
directed it?
Yeah. Who's an accomplished director.
He's an accomplished director, but
I just didn't see the need for a shot-by-shot remake of the same.
The only thing they changed was that Vince Vaughn masturbated while he was spying on the girl in the shower. That was it.
And I think that was just something they wouldn't have done at the time.
I think the reason why I haven't really watched much Hitchcock is because I don't like Hitchcock as a person. I think I've read too much about what he was like as a person that it's kind of tainted my want to watch his movies, because apparently he was very abusive to his actors and just a real piece of shit as a person.
I don't know about that. I do know that he was, because like the actors would come up to him and they say like, well, this is a plot hole here, and he's like, who cares?
Well, apparently
he had this vision and that was it.
Like tormented Janet Leigh.
Yes. And but I mean, it's product of the time.
I'm one of those people that I often have a hard time separating the art from the artist.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
we for a while there we were watching Hitchcock movies like every week.
I mean, I know there's cultural touches, like North by Northwest and Vertigo.
There's so many good movies. He did Rebecca is like a one that not many people talk about.
Probably
Strangers from a Train. Yeah. That's another.
I'll cross them off my list.
Okay.
I'll just
Psycho is definitely one that you should check out, because it's really the first slasher film.
Yeah.
Okay. The Babadook?
Yep. I've seen that one.
I never even heard of that. What the heck?
Imaginary friend sort of horror,
it's kind of like,
it deals with trauma and stuff like
STDs.
Babadook kind of came like the same realm of like Slender Man, like internet
sort of
spooky pasta or whatever, creepy pasta kind of thing.
Okay.
A lot of people, that movie is kind of famous because people complain about how annoying the kid was in it, but that was the point.
I've never even heard of this movie.
It's not great.
Babadook.
Okay.
It wasn't all right. I liked the Babadook character itself, the creature, but the movie was all right.
Fair.
I've seen Barba Papa. Is that
Barba Papa? Yeah, Lickety Split Barba Trick. I had those books.
The Conjuring.
Yes, I've seen The Conjuring.
I've seen it as well.
I think I've seen the first one, and
that's all.
I've always followed the Warrens.
The Warrens,
like the what are their names?
Like Warren Zevon.
No, the Warrens. Know who I mean. The main characters in the Conjuring universe are the Warrens. I forget Betty and... I
can't think of their first names, but they're paranormal
investigators.
They were big scam artists back in the day.
Yeah.
Is this based on a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Warrens are real.
Maybe I haven't seen this movie.
The Conjuring movies are... I mean, I think probably the first one's
loosely.
What's the name of the doll?
Annabelle.
Annabelle is based off a real doll, but the real doll is a Raggedy Ann. Mm-hmm. Whereas the doll in the movies is like,
porcelain,
like really horror.
Sir, have we seen The Conjuring? I'd say that no. I don't think we have. Okay, so don't give me a point for that one. Sorry. Was that it? Are we done with The Conjuring?
Yeah, done with The Conjuring.
Okay, so this is another one of my favorites, The Exorcist.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. I get 2 points. Oh, actually, I saw the
re-release.
The re-release in the theater where she comes down the stairs backwards. So I get 3 points for that one. Yeah, you better give me 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't trust your math, like, because
when
we did
do I get a point because I almost wore my Exorcist T-shirt today?
You almost get a point.
You almost get a point.
That was I
point.
love The Exorcist because my brother is terrified of any possession related. Like, he has a really hard time with anything religious related. Like, it just freaks him out, even though we're not religious people. But I used to play like the intro music for The Exorcist just to freak him out when we were kids. So
yeah, it's
I have
the
a soft spot for that one. Yeah.
It's probably like a top 5.
Oh, 100%. That's it.
Like,
it'd be my 3. I
like
got The Thing, Alien, and
that's
that would
another
be 3.
one of those movies I could talk at length about just because of how grounded in reality it was.
That's the thing. Like that, to me, the horror of that movie is not necessarily what's going on with the kid, but what's going on with the mother as she's being tormented because she cannot figure out. Well, like she's trying to take her kid to every specialist, trying to figure out what's wrong.
Like the and like all that stuff. Like it was all that's what sold it so much.
I think it's the fear of the unknown, right? Like what's going on with your kid? How do you fix this? Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
And speaking of directors tormenting their lead actresses, like he just like threw her around that set.
Well, she broke her back. There's a scene where she like. Whatever Ellen Burstyn gets thrown against the wall.
Mm-hmm. She was pulled. She was pulled by at her lower back. They pulled her to knock her against the wall.
And wasn't The Exorcist the one they had someone who was actually a killer on the set? He was in when they do the.
Yes, there was a crowd scene. I think
they're in the medical, like they're doing I want to say autopsy, but they're doing a procedure on her, and one of the attendants he actually killed somebody.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I remember reading about that. I mean, there's so many.
He was arrested.
There's so many legends and stuff about it, and like the stairs being haunted. Like I forget.
Yes, yeah.
It's what is it, like the DC area?
I think so.
Yeah, the whole thing was shot in Washington DC.
Yeah.
Okay, Get Out.
Yes,
seen it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
You like it?
No,
I didn't think so. I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah. Jordan Peele.
I like Jordan Peele.
I mean, Key and Peele. It's great. I love
Key and Peele.
That's
awesome.
One of my partner and I. It's like I love that. One of my favorite we watched
sketch shows. It's so good. Like we still watch clips and it still holds up.
It holds.
His movies.
To me, they are just weak episodes of The Twilight Zone.
He loves The Twilight
That's fair.
Zone. I mean,
you know what?
He produced that newer.
I know, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I know it wasn't good. I never watched it. I like Get Out.
I was okay with it.
Nope, not as much.
I
I wasn't a fan of Nope. Get Out, I liked.
Okay, this one I'm going to get trouble for. I thought Get Out would get me in trouble. The Shining.
I love The Shining.
I've usually put it at my top horror movie of all time.
I'm
fascinated with it.
It's like top 3 for me. 100%.
And I know it's more than just the movie itself. Like I love the movie, the music, the oppressive atmosphere. People rag on.
I love the imagery in it.
Shelley Duvall. I love Shelley Duvall.
Speaking of directors tormenting their lead actresses.
I know.
Well, poor Shelley.
I know, which is why I should watch more Hitchcock and just get over it. I love The Shining. I love the documentary Room 237. All the urban legends about it. The filmmaking, how there's the layout doesn't make sense. The window in the manager's office shouldn't exist. There's a scene where Nicholson, like I can go in such a deep dive about, but like Nicholson's waiting to go in for the job interview. He's reading a Playboy.
Yeah.
Like, why is he reading a Playboy? You know, like why is there a Playboy in a waiting room in a hotel for a job interview? Yeah, but like there's so many little things, and like the boy's shirt with the Apollo 11 shuttle, with and they're saying the whole thing about him filming the moon landing.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then there's the Native American motifs in the movie, and he is saying things about Native American genocide. Like, just so many things I can
honestly, The Shining, one of my favorite Stephen King novels.
Yes.
And I started reading those when I was probably 9.
And that's usually where the divisiveness comes, is that it's very different from the novel.
100%.
That's where my problem is with it, because Stephen King is my favorite author, and The Shining is up there as one of my favorite books of his. And I find like I'm not a Stephen King movie fan by any means, but I can separate for some reason The Shining book to the movie. For the most part, like for me, the best adaptation of a Stephen King film is Misery.
That's
hands down. Hands down.
That was the most faithful.
No, it's not faithful, but every decision that they made in
made sense.
That was
sense.
Rob Reiner.
It was Rob Reiner, and it 100% made sense. There's just so many
that are so hard to watch.
Yeah.
Well, the clubbing of his foot, like you said, was way worse than the book.
In the book,
graphic.
He cuts off the writer's leg she cuts off the writer's leg, and then she cuts off his thumb, and then she runs over a cop with a riding lawnmower. Right. So yeah, it's way more graphic.
Way more graphic.
Yeah.
But so I understand why all that stuff was cut out, because logistically you can't have James Caan like. They didn't have the Forrest Gump technology to remove a leg.
I think we had a conversation about this where you also wouldn't have any empathy or sympathy for Kathy Bates' character.
Right, which you need,
shit like that.
which you need because when in the novel they get into her backstory and everything, you kind of
and you do
in the
have
movie you don't have
sympathy
time
for the character,
right?
But yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we all get a point for that one, right? Okay, Alien.
Yeah.
Okay, we all get a point. I get 2 points because I do have Alien on 4K.
4K.
That's right.
Fancy.
I got all the Ks.
I think I have like 2 VHS box sets of it. I have.
If you have it on VHS, that's a point.
I have the trilogy when the trilogy came out on the box set.
Yeah.
And then I have the quadrilogy.
Yes.
When the Resurrection came out, which is such dog shit.
Yes, it's awful.
And then I think I have them on DVD as well. Like I love the lore for the most part of Alien. And yeah, the first one.
It's a great,
three.
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. I have it on Blu-ray and on 4K. I did have it on DVD, but I got rid of it a long time ago. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Yeah,
we've all seen it. Okay, we all get a point. We're all not excited about Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
People are fanatical about that series.
Yeah.
To me, it just got so slapstick after a while.
It just got.
I just never thought it was good. I didn't like the first movie was stupid. I don't like.
You didn't like seeing Johnny Depp get sucked into a bed?
I like seeing Johnny Depp get sucked into anything, to be honest.
Getting sucked or getting sucked into?
Into. Okay. I finished that thought. I didn't trail off. Okay. I had confidence in that.
Okay.
I could go either way on that.
Yeah, I like Robert Englund. Like he hammed it up and sunk his teeth into the role, but it just became silly.
I got to say, like, nothing. It's never against anything with the actors or that. To me, it's just the writing and whatnot. And I get it. People like the schlocky thing, but I don't know. Freddy just doesn't do it for me. I prefer Jason.
I've always been into more psychological horror.
Freddy, I had a hard time with the movies because, again, I was very young when I saw it. And then I had a lot of fun trauma because, when you're growing up in the 80s, you have young uncles. The one showed me the movie and the other decided when we went trick-or-treating, he'd jump out as Freddy and chase me.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's not right.
It was not a good thing.
Yeah.
No. And then it got to the point where at Halloween you go down the aisle and I'd see the finger glove or whatever in the mask break out in sweats, like full on PTSD from that. Yeah. So Freddy's always been one I've not liked.
I get it.
Okay. I've never heard of this movie either. Sinister?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys have both seen it?
And I saw it in the theater.
Oh, okay. Give yourself an extra point.
Is that part of the Insidious or different? No, eh?
No, there was a Sinister 2, which I heard was dog shit.
Yeah, I only saw Sinister.
I saw it with a friend of mine, and I think we're like in the front row. We got there like a little bit late, and it was terrifying in the theater. Mm-hmm. Like,
it's a good one.
I mean, the Bagool. Like, I know they make fun of the
Babadook?
No, the spirit is named Bagool, and they make fun of that on Red Letter Media.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a stupid name, but what's his name? Ethan Hawke was good in it.
I love Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one. Okay, so this one I read the novel, and after reading the novel, I'm like, I don't know why they made this into a movie. It's kind of stupid. But then I realized that it was one of those novels that was actually based on the movie.
Okay, so far it was just opposite.
Yeah, so the Omen.
Yeah, Omen, Damien.
Yeah, I've seen it. Well.
My nephew's named
I think I've seen
after.
it, but it's been so long.
Yeah, if it's a think, you don't get a point.
No, I've seen it. My brother named his son after Damien.
Damien?
Yeah.
Really?
Purposely for that reason?
Well, both Damien from The Omen, because that's one of his favorite movies, as well as Batman.
Okay.
The son of Batman.
Yeah.
Right, that's right. Okay, I thought for a second you were saying that...
Was the first Omen with Sam Neill? Or was that like a...
No, it was Gregory Peck.
Right. I think Sam Neill was in like one of the...
Might have been. I don't know. I've only watched the first one.
It's one of those movies where they made several sequels that all got more and more shitty.
And I believe Doctor Who is in the first Omen. One of the actors who played Doctor Who.
The one from the 70s there? With
No,
big,
no, not the one with the scarf, but one of the earlier ones.
Okay.
He's a great actor too. Okay, Jaws.
Yeah,
we've all seen Jaws, and I got it. I got a copy of that as well.
I mean, Jaws is a classic.
Excellent movie. I'm gonna get hate for this one too. Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Terrible.
I
didn't like it.
Well, okay, all right.
I didn't. I wasn't into it.
I thought for sure I would get hate for that.
No, it
I
wasn't a me
didn't
movie.
care for the
movie.
No, for the cannon fodder, like the people that were all like, you know, all the
Yeah.
teens. I didn't care for the teens.
Yes,
I was
yeah.
really interested in the operation of the thing itself, and especially when the shit just hit the fan and all the creatures got loose. I enjoyed that for just the mayhem.
I just didn't understand why people were wasting their time doing this stuff. Like I like Richard Jenkins is a great actor. I love that guy, and I was like looking forward to.
I didn't care for like the kids and the teenagers or whatever.
Why were they doing
and Chris
all that
Hemsworth, acting like he was 16 or whatever. But I liked the subterranean thing of the operations and when shit just went crazy, and then the sort of Lovecraftian vibe at the end.
I can see that.
I kind of
just didn't engage with it.
There's not a lot of Lovecraftian films out there,
Fair.
and not a lot of good ones. And this one I thought was good enough.
Fair.
Okay, I hated it. The Ring.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all seen that.
I really liked The Ring when it first came out.
The Ring or Ringu?
The Ring.
The Ring.
The Ring.
Yeah.
I did.
I haven't. I've only seen parts of Ringu. I love The Ring. I like Gore Verbinski as a director. I like his visual style.
Yeah.
And it really. I remember. I think we rented it. This is back when you rented movies, and we put it in the player, and it was back when on the DVD screen, it would like play scenes, like, you know, on like the menu screen or whatever.
Yeah.
Would, in that movie, there's like all the scenes on the video cassette.
Right.
Well, it was like on a loop.
Yeah.
On the screen, and I remember I think we were getting
like that.
snacks or something or whatever. I don't know. So it was running on a loop on the screen, and it was really fucking with my head.
That would,
Which
I could
put
see
me
that.
in the mindset for the film, because the film was very creepy and
Right.
weird. So, yeah.
Okay, get ready to give me 2 points. Because I saw this in the theater. Scream.
Of course.
I didn't see it in the
I did.
theater.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't seen a long time.
I own Scream 2, actually. Yeah. Scream, not Scream 2.
Okay.
I own it. Yeah.
So you're getting 3 points.
I saw the first
Make sure you give her 3 points.
Yeah, that one was a big one for me.
All right.
Scream was...
I loved Scream when I saw it. I saw the sequels, didn't really care for them. It was just
I
kind
just
of more of the same.
finished watching my way through the sequels to watch the newest one. I
newest
haven't
one?
watched the newest one yet, but I like to
Like I like Wes
lead
Craven,
up to it.
You know, like
I thought I actually enjoyed Scream. I thought that Scream was
well,
was
yeah,
well
because it
done.
played
Good.
with the whole convention of horror.
right.
movies.
Yeah, and any of the sequels I just haven't bothered with.
Fair.
Yeah.
They're probably fine. Whatever. I thought like it was just kind of a one
and done.
Yeah, like
There was no need for more.
Right, we're making fun of the thing.
I like the tongue in cheek of it
And I mean, it
all.
was
Yeah.
and Matthew Lillard and
Was
Skeet
great.
Ulrich
Oh
were,
my God.
were
They were
great
great.
at the end.
Yeah.
Even though you
You-
never hear about Skeet Ulrich anymore.
You can't steer.
Yeah, whatever
wrong
happened to
Matthew
Skeet?
Yeah,
Lillard.
Matthew Lillard still doing his
Matthew
thing.
Lillard is getting heat from Tarantino, right?
And I love like I'll punch a bitch. Come
You'll
in.
punch a bitch?
Yeah, I'll punch a bitch.
Okay,
I don't know, whatever.
that's an odd statement, but sure.
I'll punch a motherfucker. Yeah, like don't come after Lillard. Lillard is awesome.
No, I think he's
Yeah, the Tarantino's a dick.
He can.
I'm saying
be, for sure.
Tarantino's a bitch.
Yeah, okay.
And I will
That's
punch,
that,
I
there
will
we go.
punch
You're
Tarantino
standing on that.
bitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tarantino.
You heard it here.
And I love Tarantino's movies too, but he's a real dick.
He's got a
he's
few.
a weirdo.
He's got a couple of good movies. There's a lot that are kind of over.
See, I gotta get to the Hitchcock things.
Yeah, Hitchcock is. I would take Hitchcock over Tarantino any day of
Fair.
the week.
Agreed.
The Descent.
Yep.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, we've all seen that. I
I
hated it.
believe
I didn't like it either.
I loved it. I think it's.
I don't even remember it.
It's a director of Dog Soldiers, which I love as well. I think it's one of the best werewolf movies. And yeah, The Descent. I loved it. I love the UK original ending. The US ending sucks.
I didn't even know there was a UK
Yeah, I
version.
wouldn't know how to compare.
The ending that you saw, was she still in the cave?
I don't remember.
I think,
It's been so long.
Yeah, the US ending, she gets out of the cave and it goes to safety. Whereas in the UK ending, there is that section where she gets out of the cave and she's driving like a madman through the forest. But then she's actually hallucinating that. And she's back in the cave.
Interesting.
The Witch. Also known as The Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've also
My partner worked on The Witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was filmed in Powassan.
Mattawa.
Really?
Mattawa, Powassan area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my partner worked on
I
it.
love The Witch. I think it's a modern horror masterpiece.
It's fantastic.
I love it.
That's one of the biggest.
You didn't like it.
In
I'm not
my
going to say
opinion-
anything because
No. My partner hated it.
Listen,
He works on the.
I loved it.
I
I
like
love
the
the
part-
atmosphere.
Again, my partner has nothing to do with production, or
yeah.
he's a grip in the background.
Yeah.
A grip. See? I was talking about the grip. A grip.
Key
what a
grip?
is.
I
just
don't know
like
if he was key grip on that.
I get his key grip is like the top grip.
Yeah,
Is
he
it-
works
he's
as
He's got
key.
the best grip out of all the grips.
He tells the other grips what to grip.
Yeah,
grip
but
harder.
he worked
Not
on
too
The
much.
Witch, so
Little less.
Yeah,
that was a fun one for me because I
I-
knew a lot of the ins and outs of it. And then when it
Yeah.
blew up, I was like, "Oh, this is really
Well, that
cool."
was Anya Taylor-Joy's first big
Yeah.
role.
It was
That's
a
what
good
Oh, I
one.
forgot. Yeah, she was in
She
there.
was. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. It was psychological and kind of understated.
I do have to watch it again. I don't
It's
know.
good. I think
I don't know if I own it or not.
I don't own it,
I
but
can't remember what I own.
definitely seen it in theater.
Okay. Have you guys seen Insidious?
Yes.
Yes,
What the heck is that? I don't even know that one.
it's a spin-off of The Conjuring. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So I don't know
It
these.
has like a sort of weird devilly looking. So you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No. I haven't
I just
heard of it.
remember the scene where Patrick,
I'm
what's
so
his
bad
name?
with
The actor
names.
was sitting at the table, and the guy just kind of goes like this from behind him. I remember that was creepy, and there was like a little boy or something, ghost or something.
Anything with kids.
It was all
involved
right.
Creeps
I'm
me
not
out.
big on those Conjuring ghost movies.
Okay. Hush.
Oh yeah,
I've
I saw-
seen half of it.
It's actually really good. So that one, if I'm thinking of the right one, the main character is deaf,
Yes.
and she's being hunted down
Yeah,
by
there's like
a
a house
killer.
intruder.
I've never
It's
seen it.
it's
Never
actually
heard
a
of it.
really good one.
I heard it's really
Okay.
good. I started watching it, and
It's
for
a good
whatever
one.
reason, I
It's
didn't
one of those
watch
like
the whole thing.
high anxiety ones because there's very little sound in it.
Like it kind of reminds. There's an old sort of thriller where I think it's from the late '60s or something, where this woman is blind, and there's these two guys in her apartment that are just kind of fucking with her head or whatever. I forget the actress. And it's a pretty well known horror movie, but anyways, it kind of has that vibe to it.
Yeah,
I hated this one too. Paranormal Activity.
yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Saw it.
I've never had any interest.
Oh, I hated that movie so much.
I don't
Just
like-
get out of the house. What are you hanging in there
It's
for?
a white people thing.
Well, especially with all the like subsequent ones. Like, how many times
Well,
are we
just
gonna do
yeah.
this?
Well, and the people saying that it's real. It really happened. It's a documentary.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, I know it was a sensation because people in the theater like,
Yeah.
and they would show like that. I remember they were filming people in the theater.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
I also
Yeah.
have a hard time with found footage movies in general. Like
There's
Blair Witch, like
that's on the list here. We might as well
Okay.
get to it. Blair Witch Project.
definitely seen that.
I've
Yeah,
seen it.
I saw it in the
I
theater.
used to own it.
and I actually own it. I get 3 points from that.
Oh, I saw it in theater. I remember seeing it because that one
You get through.
scared me
Yeah.
a lot in theater in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. That ending was
Yeah.
very memorable, and Sarah still won't let me stand in a corner. She-
You know what's funny is like when I didn't
it's
see it in
true.
the theater, I watched it like probably on home video or like on
No,
VHS.
definitely
or
saw that
something.
one in theater.
And I remember watching it, and I was like, it's all right, you know, like it feels really real. And I remember watching there was like a faux documentary
Mm-hmm.
about the Blair Witch,
yeah.
or like based on the Bell Witch or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I remember watching to the end, and he's in the corner, and and then it ended, and I'm like, why was he in the corner? But then I remembered the lore, and I was like,
Right.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
Well, and all the little hands on,
Yeah.
on the
yeah,
wall.
and then
It's
it
everywhere.
hit me after, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
creepy.
It's funny. A friend of mine was going to play a trick. We used to hang out at my grandmother's cottage, and he was going to play a trick and hang a bunch of those Blair Witch things around. And he made them, and he started doing it, and he got freaked out and took them all down.
Right.
He's like, no, this isn't a good idea. But I appreciate how that movie, I appreciate it when movies have a very small or limited budget and they make the most out of it. And I feel like that was a movie that.
Well, and
that did
yeah,
that.
like I mean, there was found footage before that. Like, there's a pretty famous British found footage ghost film or something like that. I think might be called Ghost Story, or maybe I can't remember. But anyways, it was one of the bigger found footage ones. And found footage, I like some. It's very hit and miss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to
absolutely.
be done a certain
Like, there's
way.
one called The Taking of Deborah Logan, which deals with dementia as well. And I found that was really effective.
Okay, have you guys seen The Strangers?
Yes.
Never even heard of
I
Strangers.
have seen. There's a count that I've seen the film that it's based off of.
No.
Okay.
It has to be The Strangers.
No,
There's a
The
French,
Strangers, yeah.
There's a French film called Il or Them, ILS. Fantastic horror movie. It's really, really unsettling and creepy. I've never really watched The Strangers because I kind of hate it when Hollywood takes foreign movies and Hollywoodizes them.
That's fair.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes
and actually,
it doesn't.
I wish I could get a point because I have Il, I think, on DVD as well.
Don't forget to give her point.
All
right.
Did, but I'll just give you another.
The Devil. No, you didn't. I was watching that pen. It did not move.
I'm struck, man. I get talking.
I know. That's why I got to watch you. Okay. The Devil's Backbone.
Yes.
No.
It's one of Guillermo del Toro's earlier films.
Really?
It's Spanish subtitled. I think it's his best.
Really?
I think it's his best.
Better than Pan's Labyrinth?
It's almost neck and neck with Pan's Labyrinth. I think it's my favorite.
Really?
It's kind of a ghost story. It takes place in the...
No, me neither.
I think it takes place in like the Spanish Civil War too, or something, or maybe in the World War.
I gotta tell you, Pan's Labyrinth. That's the movie that I watched once. I loved it. I went and bought it. I can't bring myself to watch it again. It is just so
too creepy.
Not creepy, intense. Like the poor kid in that movie.
Well, it's very emotionally intense. Movie, but
I do want to see it.
Highly recommend it.
Really?
Okay.
I'll have to look at.
Did you give yourself a point?
Better.
You don't even know. I don't think I saw that.
I just get talking and I forget the points. I'm passionate about movies that I like.
Okay, Hellraiser.
Yes.
Okay, we've all seen it. Everybody 100%. Gets a point. I did have it on DVD, but I gave it to Frank. So
I didn't love it.
I haven't. I actually haven't watched it since I was college. It was one of those.
I remember Hellraiser 2, I think, being better.
I don't think I've seen any of the sequels.
I don't know if I've seen any of the sequels.
You know, like the whole Cenobites thing is cool with the Hellscape thing, but
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Obviously.
Yeah. You've never seen it?
Really?
Oh, come on, Mark.
It's another blind spot for me. It's I don't know. It's just never really interested me.
It's good. It's like it's not a well-made film, but it's a fun one.
Yeah,
sure.
It's one of those cultural touchstones.
Yeah.
The Invitation.
Yep. That's a good one.
Really
I didn't mind that one.
Karen Kusama is the director, and she did it was a really good job. It was a good sort of ensemble acting thing. It takes place in one location.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah,
those are my favorites.
And it was very sort of understated as well.
Yeah.
And then the ending, it's one of those endings where it's like, oh fuck.
I'm a sucker for films that take place all in one room or one location.
It plays like it's like a horror mammoth play.
Right.
Yeah.
Thing.
Like one of my favorite Hitchcock films is Rope, that takes place all in one room. It's
right.
Good times. So you guys get a point each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Blair Witch Project we talked about. Annabelle?
Yes.
No,
it's part of the Conjuring.
Okay.
Series or
this list. So okay, we only got 4 more.
The creepy doll movies don't really interest me in general.
I like them.
I love this one. Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I get 2 points.
Korean zombie movie.
I've been to Busan.
Oh,
so
have you?
yeah, I lived in Korea for a couple of years.
Oh,
so
nice.
yes.
And that happened. It's a true story.
Yes, very true story.
The commute in Busan is.
I can see. You know what? The subways there are pretty scary.
Yeah.
So and you know, when you've lived somewhere and you can like kind of put yourself in those situations, I'm like, yep, that's.
It was intense and like there was some emotional impact. There was like sort of a classism sort
very
of
much
thing in there.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the few horror movies that I watch with my wife because my wife can't really deal with horror movies very much.
My partner's the same.
But if I remember, she enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was really good.
Have you guys seen the sequel?
I
think it's just called Peninsula.
Was that the animated?
No, it's not animated.
Because I know there's like an animated, maybe it's a spin-off or something that has to do with that, universe.
The sequel wasn't as good.
I hear.
Yeah, it's not.
I hear it was a lot more schlocky.
Way more schlocky, and basically, I don't want to give away spoilers, so because I'll spoil Train to Busan if I start getting into it.
Yeah.
The Wailing.
Yes.
Not whales, like ocean whales, but
like
WAIL.
I think it's another South Korean horror movie. It's fantastic.
I I love South Korean horror.
I forget the name
general,
of
so.
the actor in it. He's like a really well-known Korean actor. It was one of those. The Koreans have this way of really inserting an emotional resonance in their horror movies.
Mm-hmm. In a lot of their movies, not just horror.
Yeah, but I'm speaking like Bong Joon-ho, like with The Host.
Right.
There's an undercurrent of like family and what and that sort of thing. So
the layers to it.
If you're into Korean horror movies with ghosts and spirits and stuff like that and an emotional undercurrent, I highly recommend The Wailing.
Okay, second last one. It Comes at Night.
Yes, I've seen it. Hated it. It has one of the most inaccurate trailers I've ever seen.
Okay.
It makes it feel like I'm trying to remember the trailer, but I remember there was a dog like barking at like an open door, like into like it was an open door and it was just dark outside. It was like black night.
Right.
And he's barking and it makes you feel like there's gonna be spirits or demons or something. And it was nothing like that.
Okay.
It was, and so it didn't deliver on what it kind of made it what it was out to be, and what it wasn't great.
Okay. I've only seen the Triple X parody. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, last one.
It's funny because I was going to ask, is there any relation to Let the Right One In? Because that just with the title, but
this is
that could be another Triple X movie too.
Another fantastic.
That's one of my.
Is it Swedish?
Swedish, yeah.
I've never watched the sequel. It's another one of those things I won't watch.
It's a good one.
Okay, so last one. I might watch a Triple X parody of this one too. Saw.
Oh, I've seen Saw.
What?
I said I might. I didn't. It wasn't definite.
I saw Saw. I hated it.
I saw Saw.
I saw Saw as well, and I was not a fan.
I watched a few of the sequels. I don't like horror porn. Like it's just not
I'm
my torture porn. Like it's not my thing. Like 100%. Things like that, Hostile. Like they're just not my 100%. Hostile. Not my. I don't know. Yeah. They just gross me out too far.
I know people that love the Saw movies. No. I just don't give a shit.
I forget which one it was.
You gave everyone a point there?
I've never seen it. I gave you both a point.
Okay.
I forget which one it was. I lost track. There was one where there was a whole scene with like a pool of syringes and the person got thrown into it. And I was like, I'm done. I can't watch anymore.
Like I've seen parts of Hostel and Hostel. It's
just not my thing. I don't like the torture porn. Like it doesn't. I like gore.
Yeah.
I like really grotesque things, but I just don't like it for the sake of it.
Like The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. The gore is over the top and nuts in it, but there's a point to it.
Right.
It's not just let's watch somebody just get eviscerated for something.
Like if you're cutting into somebody and they would have passed out, and they pass out, okay, but in those movies they stay alive somehow.
Well, and you know that like
I can't sit there and watch somebody just get tortured. It just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. And plus in that movie, like I feel like spoiler alert for
if anyone hasn't seen
300-year-old movie, the villain, I remember he had cancer. And to me, it just did a whole disservice to people who are actually suffering with cancer. Yes. Like I have cancer, so now I turn evil and I'm going to start torturing all these people. Health. Like
I'm like that when it comes to what was that movie with James
Split?
McAvoy? Split.
Oh yeah.
I just watched a movie with him last night, actually.
Yeah. Fantastic actor. I really have a problem with that movie because that's not how split personality works.
No. Right.
At all.
And it's a great role. Like it's like his portrayal.
He's fantastic.
How he just switched from character to
performance
character.
Great.
He's a really good actor. I watched him in Adulthood last night. Don't recommend. Really not a great movie. He was in it with Josh Gad. Gad and
I don't know Josh Gad.
Carrie Fisher's daughter's in it too.
Okay.
It's okay. Billy. I forget her name. Yeah. But it's just one of those like you're into it and then it just ends and you're like, the fuck? And I don't like that, but he was he does play a weirdo, a creep. He's
fantastic, and like
him
switching personas
fantastic.
Is like a tour de force acting performance, but it really bothers me when real mental health issues are kind of portrayed
in that light,
stupidly like that.
And Hollywood does that a lot. It's a trope that they hang on to.
Well,
the split personality thing. It's always like, oh, I'm Mary and now I'm Bob. And
that's not how it works.
Well, it's the good thing about it though is you can tell if somebody's faking a split personality because they only know split personality from what they've seen on
Yes.
TV.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah. I
much
saw it
so.
on a soap opera. And that's
Right.
how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's our score? Who is the horror champion? Who loves horror the most at this table?
I'm gonna guess you because you own so many.
That's right. It pays to be a collector. I switched the rules in this swing in my favor. Let's see, what do I got?
She won by 1. We
Oh,
Yes.
almost.
You got points because of the physical media thing.
I always get points for physical things.
I got rid of a lot of my physical media. I'm starting to get it back again because.
See, I feel okay. This legitimizes my horror tattoos, so I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not a poser anymore.
Yes.
Well, you're legit.
Especially seeing you at markets like Halloween markets. I know you love Halloween and horror
my God,
and stuff.
it's-
So
who
so
I am.
congratulations.
Yes, very good,
I'm
very
a
good.
winner.
Right on. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you like what sort of entertainment and whatever you were
Horror movies.
into, but that kind of.
I'm one of those people. I do 31 every Halloween.
Yeah.
I start on the 1st and I watch at least 31 horror movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Even if it's old ones I go back to, I have my
Oh, yeah.
roster. My partner hates horror movies. The majority of what he works on are horror movies.
Yeah.
So that's usually my time to watch them when he's not around.
Did he work on the Death Stalker or whatever?
No, not
No.
just the last horror one I can think of he worked on here would be Resident Evil.
Evil.
That
I was
was
just
the
gonna
last
say
one.
that.
Yeah.
We just
Which I
watched
hear
them.
wasn't very good.
No, it's not.
I haven't watched it yet. But
Yeah,
I
you're-
They're
don't
doing
hear
another
it's-
one with, I guess, a better director. I forget. So they're going to try and take a crack at it
Yeah, he told me
again.
it wasn't worth watching. So
Yeah. What was it called? Raccoon City? Or
Raccoon
what?
City,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat because it's.
I'd watch it for the fact it's filmed here.
Like if you've ever been to Gus's restaurant, they're in Gus's restaurant. It's kind of cool to see that on a big screen.
Oh, for sure.
But that movie was the catalyst that got the hospital finally torn down because they shot a bunch of
lot
scenes
in
in
there.
there.
A lot in
and
there.
they left stuff in there, and somebody went in there and set it on fire.
Well, they
really?
left.
Yes, and that's what got them finally. We have an abandoned hospital. Had an abandoned hospital
Had.
in Sudbury
Years, like 14 years. it's
that
sat
had
there.
this big.
Oh, it's been
It was this project done by the city to make it into the world's largest mural, and it was this really just look up Sudbury
Kind of went viral.
mural.
looked like a rainbow threw up
hospital.
all over it.
Yeah, it was awful.
As an artist, like I can appreciate the work and the artistry
I like the
of it, but
idea.
it was just like a lot of people call it putting lipstick on a pig, and I won't go that far or whatever. But
in defense of the artist, he only meant it to be there for a
Yes.
year, like the city
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
it would be, and then it ended up being there for like a decade,
Yeah.
and just
so then it just spiraled.
Yeah, because
there.
that's when they filmed Raccoon City. I remember there were people posting. They'd left these like big, like gilded raccoons and rats
okay.
on different locations that had been used in other sets, and people were like taking pictures.
I've seen a few props come up on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace,
Oh, people have gone and
like
rated.
Raccoon
Yeah,
City signs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
but
cool.
my partner being on that set, he said filming in that hospital, and he's done quite a few shoots in that
Yeah.
hospital. It was awful every time. He's like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
You just
That's
don't
one of the
feel
few
good
places
about it.
I didn't photograph and explore.
Yeah,
was
he
the,
said it
the
was
hospital.
really eerie inside.
Yeah.
And he's not a paranormal person
I
by
was
any
born
means,
there.
but
Me too.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
look
I
at
think
that.
most of us, like
St. Joseph's Hospital.
between the 70s and 80s,
Yeah,
that's where you
everywhere.
were born, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the birthing
It was
hospital.
a general hospital. It said St. Joe's.
Was it
Oh
St.
yeah,
Joe's?
yeah, General, yeah,
St.
St.
Joe's,
Sudbury
yeah.
General Hospital.
Oh, St. Joe's General. No, what was
It
it,
became
Sarah?
St. Joe's after a while.
The General Hospital, and then it changed its name to the Sudbury Regional Hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital.
Health Center, yeah.
Just that whole mouthful. Well, back in my day, we called it the General.
The general.
Pepperidge Farms, remember?
There was two generals. There was the Duke boys and the hospital, and we loved both.
Those damn dudes.
No, my partner said it was really creepy inside. He just felt off that there was something
Man,
weird.
he would have hated being in the locations I had been in, like abandoned hospitals. Like I photographed a morgue, and with
love
like it
that.
still had the rollout.
Oh, cool.
Like, you know,
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we did that when we went to New York. We went to Ellis Island.
yeah,
And there's like the Ellis Island tour, and then they have what they call the hard hat tour.
Yeah.
And they take you into like the more condemned side, and you go into the morgue, and
Cool.
it was really cool. He hated every second.
I love that.
Not his
I love
thing.
that. I mean,
And I'm
people
like so engaged.
Most people that are familiar with my photography,
Yeah.
like, there's been some pretty cool abandoned places I've been to, and I've had some creepy vibes in some of them.
Yeah.
Like some of them are pretty creepy.
We should explore some more, do some more of that. I got a drone now, so we can do some drone footage of it too.
Yeah, I'm down for
be fun.
I'll have to get back into that sort of hobby because there's like databases of places you could explore.
What else are you doing? Come on.
What else am I doing? I'm just doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Hey?
You have time. Yeah. Kill it. Right on.
So anyways, I guess we've been chatting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
We're good.
Yeah,
right
we're good.
We got enough content.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in post.
Yeah.
So anyways, thanks for being our guest today, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. It was fun.
I don't know if you have any plugs or anything like that.
Got nothing to plug.
Yeah. You have some plugs?
Just the same. Retro Fandango. We finally did that episode of the island of Dr. Moreau. We learned the origins of Mini-Me, and it was good times. Yeah.
Have you seen the island of Dr. Moreau?
No, I haven't. I know of it, but I haven't watched it.
If you don't know, Marlon Brando was.
I think we talked about this every episode.
Did we talk about
Marlon Brando?
The Mini-Me thing though? Because I just learned about that. I can't remember if I.
Well, did. I remember. I think I told you. I mentioned it to you when we were talking about it before. That I think that's where the Mini-Me concept came from.
Right. Yeah.
But
anyway, I don't know. Yeah. If I did talk about it already, sorry. But yeah. So Marlon Brando, he was a bit off his rocker for this film.
Correct.
And he was supposed to have all these scenes with this one actor, but he ended up not liking the actor because he would try to speak German to the actor, and this German actor couldn't understand what he was saying because Brando was just gibberish.
Yeah.
So Brando ended up liking this little guy that they got. This guy was like only 17 inches tall. He was this world's smallest human. And he was only meant to be in the background or whatever. And Marlon Brando was like, I like that guy. I want that guy on set with me all the time, wearing the exact same outfit I'm wearing and doing whatever. So if I'm playing the piano in the scene, he's playing a piano in the scene. And it's so bizarre.
It's like a fever dream.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. And there's a documentary about the filmmaker.
Yeah, so we talked about the movie and the documentary as well.
Both are fascinating.
Both are very interesting.
Check it out, for sure.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, the movie itself is not great. It's not.
Fair.
It's actually. Spoiler alert for my other podcast. It actually isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's watchable.
But Brando is just
schlocky as all fuck.
Yeah.
It's
fair.
It's crazy.
At one point, Brando's wearing an ice bucket on his head,
Love
and there's
it.
no explanation for it.
Just this is
So
it.
there you go. There's my plug for Retro Fandango. Go check that out.
Fantastic. Right on.
Anyways, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Mindmelt Studio. You can find me on Instagram at Mindmelt_studio. And you can find my work on my website, www.mindmeltstudio.com. So, thanks.
Awesome. Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you. That was awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was fun.
All right.
Right on.
And see.
That's it.
Will I use that money to buy me a drink? Well, hell yeah, but I bet you would too. We've all got our demons, and I can tell by your eyes, so that mine ain't got nothing on you. Well, you're gray round the heart and you're black round the brain, and my soul is aching for you. When our paths cross again, I might be your only friend when you go down the downtown blues. Got no home and nothing to lose. I'm just a wandering around down here with the downtown blues. Got no home, nothing to lose.
You've been listening to the Mindmelt Podcast. Intro and outro music is Downtown Blues by Sean Barrett. Find his music at seanbarrett.bandcamp.com. You can also find his book at www.firstguitars.ca.
Downtown blues.